Greetings from Singapore. Thank you, Macro International, for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves and our firm. My name is Chye. My partner here is Hsuan Boon. We are from Greece Retail LLP from Singapore. Boon, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted at first to be an astronaut, but Singapore didn't have a space program. And then I thought I'll be an archaeologist, but again, we don't have dinosaur bones. And wait, how far back do you want me to go?
I think that's enough. For me, I wanted to be a surgeon, but a little cut in my finger when I was about 14 put paid to this ambition. The sight of blood made me nauseous. The only other noble profession was being a lawyer, and I have not looked back since then.
I can relate to that too. What are three adjectives that you say would describe you?
I would say I'm generally a happy person, idealistic, and perseverant. What about you,
Boon? For myself, it probably would be intense, deliberate, and attentive.
Yeah, I know you to be that. And what is the most interesting thing that's ever happened to you?
That will probably be the occasion when I was offered several camels for the hand in marriage of a female companion I was traveling with in Morocco.
That must be really interesting. For me, it must be when I was told in law school that I had a secret admirer. I never had anyone tell me that, and before and ever since. I never knew who that person is, and it remains a mystery to me this day. Okay, now to something a bit more serious. If you were to implement a new law or change one, what would it be?
If I could actually introduce a new law, this might be a bit controversial, but I would abolish all forms of inheritance.
Well, that sounds really good. Yeah, not as drastic, but I think maybe for some, it is also considered something that is going to be controversial. It will be a law to require minimum age for all workers in the spirit of fairness and equity. I know in some countries you already have it, but maybe that's something that we need to look at in Singapore. And in this COVID situation, maybe it'll come to pass.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can you share with our friends, Boon, what is the most challenging legal situation that you've ever faced?
That would probably be pursuing recovery against a foreign state-owned company of assets that were not even in the name of the defendant. And multiple other parties set forward to claim that asset as theirs. It took us 12 years and multiple hearings before the Court of Appeal on various issues of law before we finally were able to obtain a favorable outcome, which was very satisfying, of course. What about you, Chye? What's your most challenging legal situation?
Maybe not as intense as what you have, but there's this matter I'm still involved in, and it's been ongoing for I think close to 10 years. It involves a dispute between a set of siblings in an estate matter. The dispute was very intense and was very difficult to navigate all the emotions that came about it, and to get the parties to do the right thing by each other. It was actually very challenging and can be sometimes very emotionally draining. I hope I don't see too many of these kind of exciting cases. Okay. Okay, Boon, what's your most important leadership advice that you have been given or learned along the way?
For me, that probably would be the motto that in work as in life, always keep the end in mind and pay for the long game. And what about you, Chye? What have you learned along the way about leadership advice?
I think for me, true leadership is when you are able to develop your people so that they don't need you and the organization can carry on without you. That is something that I aspire for all the organizations I'm involved in and all the leaders that come after me.
Well said.
Yeah. Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much to everyone in Macro for watching this video.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Stay safe.
Keep safe.